Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. One technique a lot of us do frequently, it seems, is we try to get answers to our questions that we're trying to manifest, right? So maybe we're interested in getting a date with Joe, or maybe Sabrina and I are supposed to go out on a date. And I'm wondering if all this manifesting stuff is working out. So oftentimes, a lot of us will try to create some sort of sign to indicate that we're on the right track, right? So we'll be like, well, if Joanne and I are supposed to be together, show me a orange butterfly, and then I'll know that we're supposed to be together. Now, problem happens invariably is that very following day, you end up seeing a black butterfly with an orange stripe or a significant portion of orange on its wings, and you're like, shoot, was that my answer? I don't know. Of course not, because it's kind of not really a good answer. And two, you're actually manifesting signs now instead of actually trying to manifest the thing that you're interested in, and then thusly seeing indications of that. So a lot of us get in this little trap where we start to try to manifest signs. So a technique that I'm super fond of, I was just doing it the other day, and it reminded me that, this is something that we need to share with other people. So the technique is actually communicating with the other people. Now, I've talked about thought transmissions before. For those of you that maybe don't know what a thought transmission is, the second you think of anybody, you immediately create a connection with them instantly. Instantly. They could be on the other side of the universe, and you think of them, and they're instantly going to get that connection. Their higher self is immediately aware. Their lower conscious self may be aware, may not be aware. I'll say you can definitely play with that. There's a very good friend of mine that I know when her and I communicate. She's a very, very gifted spiritual person. I know when we kind of think of each other, I know we're popping into each other's heads. I have no doubts about that in my mind. So there's some people that I know are sensitive enough, and then there's other people that I could probably have a conversation with, and maybe I pop into their head, but I doubt very much that they're aware of the conversation. Doesn't matter. The higher self is well aware of what you're trying to do. So in the cases where you're looking for some sort of answer, or you want to work through this problem, maybe there's a third party involved, maybe their mother got involved and now all of a sudden there's an arranged marriage, maybe there's some weird thing that happened where you're not sure if they're going to be able to forgive you, right? There's some concern that seems to be weighing on your heart that for whatever reason you think might be impacting whether or not this manifestation is going to occur, right? The success of your manifestation is in question. And so you're trying to manifest signs to show you that you're on the right track. Now, again, one of the problems that we have with a lot of these manifesting signs is we do say silly things like, I'm on the right track. Show me a sign that that's the case. Or show me a sign that Jennifer loves me. Okay, well, Jennifer can love me. Doesn't necessarily mean Jennifer's going to get out of her other relationship. I might be someone she's very, very fond of, but she's in this relationship, she's in this relationship and there's a kid and God knows what other stuff, right? So now in her mind, it's a much more complex situation than just ending a relationship and being with me. It's larger than that. So sometimes getting off on these tangents of trying to manifest a sign to tell us something isn't really a very good way to go about it. And I honestly think there's a lot of questions as to whether or not not the accuracy of the information. I think the questions that we answer or ask frequently are very not specific. They're kind of open-ended, or it's one of those things like, am I on the right track? Well, yes, of course you're on the right track. I'll tell you you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Even if you're making a bad decision, you're still on the right track, because from this bad decision, you're going to understand the reality and truth of it. You're going to learn something, and now you're going to make a change. So yes, even that mistake you're about to make is the right track. So yeah, here's your butterfly. There you go. Doesn't necessarily tell you what you really want to know. So what we do is we connect with the individual's higher self. First recommendation, get yourself into a good meditative state. Really a great way to do it. And I don't mean a meditation for something, meditation to try to get love into your life. No. You're doing a straight meditation to clear your mind, clear your thoughts, get your energy to a good neutral place. Focus on your breath. In breath is so many seconds long. Pause for a moment, and then have your out breath be roughly the same amount of time as your in breath. So if it's comfortable to do a 7 or 8 second in breath, then pause for a moment and do a 7-8 second out breath. If it's 15 seconds and 15 seconds, whatever's comfortable for you. Some people can do longer, larger controlled breaths than others. Obviously if you've maybe got lung issues or anything crazy like that, right? Then obviously your breath is not going to be as sequence or as deep, as long. So do what works for you. Other real key thing that helps is if you have any crystals, good, I would recommend quartz for sure. Any of the quartzes really, smoky, rose, regular, just clear quartz. Like the quartzes are great channeling stones. They're great stones just in general. The energy of them is amazing. If you've got a good piece of quartz, fantastic. I also probably would recommend maybe something like orange calcite. That's usually a really good one for communication. Even if you're doing speeches, actually it's fun to have a little orange calcite in your pocket. So sometimes it's one of those things that will help. But whatever, if you've got crystals that you feel good, that's usually the way you know which one's the right one, is you go and look at your crystals and you're like, yes, this one I want to hold on to, and that one. Doesn't matter what they are, frankly. If you want to use them, use them. Another one I love dearly is, I think it's called moldavite. It's like a little piece of like meteorite. It's almost like glass. It's like practically translucent. It's this kryptonite green color. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite pieces. It's a little pricey, but it is really awesome. So, and then there's whatever works for you. Go ahead and get one of those. Get yourself into a good feeling space through meditation. And you've got these crystals that are going to kind of help just, it'll help more so with the mind. It just gives you that little bit of something physical that is there to actually help connect the spiritual dots, if you will. Once you've done that, now it's an issue of thinking of your person and communicating with them. Now, you can communicate any way that you feel comfortable. Usually I do it out loud. Sometimes I might just do it recording because it's easy for me to just kind of not think about what I'm saying and just talk. And so sometimes for me, I'll ask the question to them, especially if I'm recording it. I'll ask them like, hey, I was just wondering, a lot's been going on with you and I know we haven't been talking a lot lately. I'd like to think we're still heading in the direction you still want to be with me. You still want to have a relationship with me. Are we still, is this something that I should consider, or am I at a place now where maybe, it'd be better to let you be free, right? And I can move on and try to find a relationship with someone that, can be with me. I don't know, just to make up something, right? You have that conversation, and then you start kind of speaking the thoughts that are the answer from them, right? So a lot of us would be like, well, how do I know that's me? How do I know that's them? You don't, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't. When you can let go of who's pushing the words into your head and really just focus on the message and just speaking it, writing it down, whatever, then you're going to start to actually find a level of comfort with this. You're going to start to play with this, and you're going to start to see things happen. Now, again, it's not so much the words that matter. What's going to matter and what's really going to tell you what's going on is the soul stuff, the feelings. How does it feel? That's how your soul talks. That's how their soul talks to your soul. That's how we communicate to each other energetically. We don't generally throw thoughts to each other. It's kind of an archaic form of communication. Feelings kind of actually say so much more. And so a lot of this communication is going to happen through feelings. So you may be going to get some words. Yeah, I think we're great and love. No, I really, really love you and miss you. But it's that when I'm thinking those words in my mind that she's saying to me, right? Assuming. When I'm thinking those words, it's the feelings that I feel that accompany it that tell me, okay, yes, this person's still very in love with me, or this person still thinks very much about me and wants to spend time with me. It's that time. It's that spending the moments with them. And again, remember when we think of them, we create that thought bridge. So you're instantly creating a connection with them. Their higher self for sure knows. Lower self might not. Depends how sensitive they are. Let's not get too worried about that either. And that's one of the most common questions I get is, well, I did such and such, and then I felt this way. Does that mean that they are feeling me? I don't know. I don't know what they're feeling. And it's hard to say what means, right? Like I get a lot of those questions. So one of these, it's one of those where you've got to spend time and you feel it come back to you. You feel their answers. Just practice it. Let it, because a lot of it's just getting your mind out of its way, right? Because this is bizarre. To a lot of us, this would be like, that's crazy. That's not okay. You can't talk to other people. And I'll be like, I totally, completely disagree. One, my mom passed away a few months back, and I talk to her all the time, and I hear her responses back all the time. Of course, it can happen. Now, a lot of you can say, that's this, that's that, whatever. That's fine. I don't necessarily need anyone else to believe this. That's the joy of it. It's my relationship with my mom. It's my relationship with my grandpa. It's kind of like, for those of you that have seen Star Wars, right? And then Obi-Wan dies and he's like, poof, and Vader cuts through him. And then all of a sudden he's like a ghost for Luke, right? That's that. Like, that's exactly what's going on. It's almost identical. So maybe I watch too much Star Wars. I don't know. But I have wonderful relationships with these people. They've helped me through some of my challenging moments in life. And then on top of that, I've used this exact same technique with people that are alive. And in a lot of cases, been able to confirm some of the experiences I've had, some of the moments where I felt like there was an instant connection, to be able to text someone back, like my good friend I was saying, like to text her and say, did you just kind of have and she's like, yeah, totally. So it's one of those things where you'll start to realize that there's a connection, that you're feeling it, that it's powerful, and it's love, and it's amazing. So rather than trying to manifest some crazy sign, because that's what a lot of us do instead, go to the source. Talk to them. If there is a third party involved, ask them the questions about it. Ask them if they think it's better for you to move on to someone else, right? And you might get an answer that suggests stay or go. Now, that's the other side, probably the last little part of this that I think is worth looking at. And I've said this to people before about me. I tend to be a very honest person, almost to a fault, right? Like if someone asks me a question, I'll tell them the honest answer, period. Like even if I'm in relationships, do you look at that girl? Yeah, I did. I saw her butt. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I just saw it. I didn't want to. I wasn't looking for it. Just she walked by. I happened to, sorry, right? Like it might get me in trouble saying it, but it happened. I'm being honest, right? So my whole thing is if you're going to ask a question, you need to be able to hear the answer. You need to. If it's one of those things where I'm going to ask a question, but only one answer is okay to hear, don't even bother playing this game, because you're not really able to get an honest answer. You're not able to hear the honesty. That's why you want to get yourself into that meditative state, because no matter what, you're fine. It's going to work out. So if this second person still doesn't have time for you, maybe it's better to find someone that does have time for you. Or maybe it's one of those things where you've spent a bunch of time working on yourself. Now you're not so sure you still want this person anymore, and you're almost feeling guilty about it. And that's a good time to have that conversation. Like maybe it's better that we move on, right? Maybe I'll let you have your third party. I wish you all the health and happiness and wonder that life has to offer you. But I think it's time for me to cut the cord and move on. And you can get that confirmation. Or in a lot of cases too, you'll find out from them, no. I'm just freaked out trying to go through these things. Like I'm scared. I'm scared of trying to break up with this person. I'm scared because it's unknown. I don't know if things are going to work out with you. We've never been out on a date. How do I know this relationship's going to work with you instead? Or maybe we broke up. How do I know you've forgiven me? Or we're not going to have this very same pattern happen again where we'll get back together for 2 weeks and then something crazy happens. Someone freaks out on someone else and then all of a sudden we're fighting again. Like, if there's a pattern, we don't want to keep doing it. So again, sometimes it's not just, I want to be with you. Sometimes it's like, I want to be with you, but there's a lot to consider. So sometimes that answer is going to come back and be like, yeah, no, I definitely want to be with you. Totally. I'm freaked out about the situation. I need to deal with this. I need to figure out how to deal with this. And then maybe you come at it from a less pushy angle, right? Maybe you start to, instead of like insist that, well, you need to do this and you need to do that, maybe step back and just be like, well, I love you and I hope you can do that. I just want you to know that I care about you. Let me know how I can be of help. And I'll kind of be standing back over here, just doing my own thing, working on my own life, improving things, working on my own business, whatever, finding a better job, whatever your thing is. Like work on other stuff while this is happening. Right? And you'll probably be in a better place for it. But again, go to the source. Talk to them. Start talking to their higher selves. Make a habit of it. You will be amazed at some of the great experiences that will come from it. Some of the most amazing things will pop into your head and you'll be like, that had to have been them. There's no way that just came from me. I don't even use that word. Where'd that word come from? Right? Things will pop into your head that will give you some indication that you are in fact doing what I suspect you're doing, what I am saying you'll be doing. You will get little indications. Again, nothing's going to prove. There's not going to be some thing that's going to walk up to you with a book and say, here's proof. Here's proof where you were talking to so-and-so, and here's the exact recording of your entire conversation that you were thinking. No, that's not going to happen. what's going to happen is you're going to get feelings, you're going to get indications, and then you're also going to have conversations with these people in real life and notice that, things are a little different between us now. They're maybe better, maybe improved, because you've had these conversations. You've been able to work through them. You've been able to tell them, I forgive you. You've been able to tell them, I love you. You've been able to have these communications with them and say some of those things that you desperately want to say. And then most importantly, you feel like you hear the answer back. Maybe you're not getting text messages back from them, but their higher self will tell you they love you all day long. So ask them. Go to them. If you want a little bit of that feedback, go to the source. Stop trying to manifest signs to tell you that something's happening. Go to the source and say, hey, I love you. Let's talk. I miss you. And then see what pops into your head. Again, write it down if you need to. Talk into something if you need to. Just have a conversation, maybe in a room by yourself. Obviously, if you're out in public and you're talking to voices in your head, people are either going to assume you're on the phone, hopefully, or they're going to know you're crazy. But either way, make sure you do it in a way that, is comfortable and safe and secure. But certainly the conversations you have can and will be life-changing. And certainly, like I said, can be used in a lot of different ways. People that have passed on to the other side, a number of things. And I know that gets into the crazy for some people, but interestingly enough, energy seems to consider even after we've physically left our bodies. So something to it. It's hard. You can't prove it, right? There's a lot of religious beliefs of what's happening. There's concept of heaven or afterlife or whatever. So kind of makes me think there's probably something to it. But again, I've had experiences. I've talked to my mom. I've talked to my grandpa a lot. And there's no doubt in my mind. That's me. A lot of people could say that's in your mind. That's sure, I got that. I'm not trying to prove it to you. It's been proven to me. And I'm fine if you don't believe it. You don't need to. It's okay. But for those of you that want to believe it, want to play with this, play with it. Practice it. Just like law of attraction. Law of attraction's crazy. It's airy-fairy. I'm thinking of stuff over here, and then something happens that oddly seems coincidentally related. Okay. Where's your proof? You don't have any. There is no proof. But you've done it a bunch of times and then seen the causation and actual after it happens. I guess it's close enough. So you start to make that connection, and it seems to prove itself. Again, you could go to anybody and say, no, I did this, and then this happened. They're like, that's a coincidence. Okay, well, I can't argue with you. You're right. That's a coincidence. I just don't believe in coincidence. But you do, and that's okay. That's your way to write this off, because there's the law of confusion is one of the laws that we deal with. And if something happened, like an alien landed right in front of you and walked out of their ship and said, take me to your leader, right? Like that would instantly forever change your understanding of whether aliens exist or not, whether that technology exists. Like that would instantly change you. And from the standpoint of law of confusion, they're not allowed to. It's not allowed to happen. There needs to be a confusion there so you can believe something else, and it doesn't absolutely prove the other dimensions or other afterlife exists. It's not allowed, because that would alter a lot. God, think of how many fights happen on this planet over religions and things along those lines over, I believe in this airy-fairy thing. Well, I believe in this airy-fairy thing. Well, I'll fight you because my airy-fairy thing's better than your airy-fairy thing. They're both airy-fairy. Yeah, but I have a book that says it's true. Yeah, but I have a book that says it's true. Yeah, but your book's wrong. No, your book's wrong. No, your book's... Really? Come on. Like, I was just commenting to someone, I almost feel like all the world's religions are like puzzles, like little puzzle pieces, right? They're pieces of a puzzle. Each religion is a piece, and it's a very valid, awesome, amazing piece. But it's a piece. And I feel like when you take all the religions and all the little puzzle pieces and you put them next to each other and put them together, the little holes fall into little circles, right? And the little stub sticking out falls into that little hole. Put it together, and now we've got a picture of the truth. My take. But I think that's one of the things that matters. Play with this. Get your own experience of this. Have your own understanding of this. Have your own proof of this. And you will be amazed at some of the things that you can answer, questions that you can come up with, and feel comfortable about the answers, and feel comfortable about the direction you're moving in your life, even though it's an airy-fairy thing, even though there's no way to prove that you're on the right track. You feel it in your soul. You just know it. And then you heard these awesome words in your head. And then now all of a sudden, a day later, they text you out of the blue some really random, neat, perfect sign, something. You didn't ask for that sign. You had a conversation with them. You went straight to them, and then an indication occurred. Again, you're going to the source, which I love, and you're focusing on them, which I love. These are all helpful things. Remember, focus-based universe. So you're going there. You're not trying to manifest a butterfly to show you that they love you. You're going to them and saying, do you love me? Oh, cool. I thought you did because I can feel it in my heart right now. I know you do. Okay, good. There's your answer. Don't look for an orange butterfly that's now got black stripes. You're like, that's not what I wanted. Does that mean he doesn't love me? Does that mean he kind of loves me, but the black stripes like partially doesn't? I don't know. You had a weird question that you asked, and you asked for a really goofy sign, and then got something that was similar, but not quite. So my guess is that's similar, but not quite your answer. Like kind of your answer. Your answer's wrapped in there a little bit, but then some of it's not your answer because your question was kind of goofy. Go to the source. Hopefully this makes a difference. Again, something I play with a lot, and I love this. I love this component of life and the way we can talk to others and have communications with others, even if they're not in the same room, even if they're far away from us. Like my good friend who's many, many states away from me now, and I don't get to see her nearly as much as I used to. And she's just a friend. I'm not trying to, she's not my special person or anything crazy like that. I just adore this woman. We've been friends for, I don't know, almost 18 years now. I've known her a long time. And she's just awesome. One of my best friends. So again, it's that kind of thing where like she's gone, but I can still talk to her and we'll Skype everyone, right? Like you still have those moments together. So there's power between us. Our souls love to talk to each other. And again, it's all through that thought transmission concept. It's all the same mechanics at work. So try it, then tell me I'm crazy, or try it and then tell me, dude, yeah, there's something to this, Dan. Thank you. Because again, it's all about playing around. And when you play with this stuff and get better with it, you start to realize, and it will start to change your world. It will start to change your world because you start to realize there's certain truths that you can't prove except to yourself. And people can call it whatever they want. Law of confusion. It's okay. What does it mean to you? What do you know for sure about it? All right, that's all that really matters. If other people don't believe exactly what you believe, that's going to happen a lot in life. So it's okay. It's more important, what do you believe? What do you know is to be the truth, right? And then that's how you guide your life. That's how you keep moving towards your manifestation, is because you know that's what's going to happen. Hopefully makes a difference. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click the little bell icon if you want to be notified of my other videos. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys. It's Dan Radio Style.